Hey folks, it's Owen here again with the final battle report of the series. It's Game 5, Sunday afternoon from Nordicon. And the first three games on Saturday didn't go so well. Plenty of snakes were hit. So we finally got ourselves a nice ladder to bring us up a little bit from the last game. So Game 5, and we're hoping for another ladder. And once again, I get another army that I haven't faced. Five different armies at this competition, so it's great. It's really good to actually face five different armies for a change, and another good opponent as well. So it's John Mahon and his Dwarves, and 2,000 points with just Battle Line. So onto dwarf setup, and just at the bottom there you see a little vanguard from my guys, and further on the left hand side, which you can't see, he has himself a vanguarding gyrocopter as well, but we'll pop onto that in a couple of slides. So he has himself a rune cannon there. I think he's got re-rolling and burning or something like that on that one, and the one above it then is re-rolling, and I think that's just all it has. He had one with burning and one that didn't. Then we have 20, possibly 25 warriors there, 2025. I think his BSB is in there as well, as far as I remember. Then we have 20 crossbowmen, which are always tough, and then we have a grudge thrower. Who I think it's a rune with accuracy and a rune with something else as well. We have an organ gun there in between the unit. We have got 20, probably 25 hammers, who are 23 hammers, I think, and they have themselves a runesmith, and that's it actually. 24 hammers and a runesmith. He's also got the banner of Velea, I think it is, on those guys, which gives him a 4+ ward save, and I think everyone around them gets a 5+ ward save, gets shooting or something like that, if I remember. I actually have a dwarf army, well, starting a dwarf army, but I don't really remember much of the book because I haven't read it quite a bit. And then the right hand side, he has another organ gun, so lots of shooting, as you can see. Then on to a bit of high elf setup. We have my general on the right hand side. I kept him over there, so I'm just going to fly him down this flank as fast as I can get over. The whole point in this game is me to get across the board in 2 turns, because if I don't, we're dead. That's what all those bullets and all those crossbows and all those cannonballs are going to do to me. So, general, fly up as far as you can. I vanguarded these guys as far forward as possible. They're going to have to go into one of those organ guns if they don't get destroyed, but that's all we can do. Get up there as quick as possible. Then my main unit, my main unit, the only kind of big unit I have, my bunker is just, I put them there so they would get some cover from the wood, which is the little green blob there. -1, anything to save them from the shots, but he will have to target those reavers first, so that's not too bad. Then on the kind of left hand side, we have his Marauding Gyrocopter. Actually, this is the setup and dwarf turn 1. So he vanguarded up just behind that big wall, which meant that I couldn't vanguard with my unit on the left hand side because, well, I can maybe vanguard an inch because I couldn't come within 12. And the other ones on the right hand side, I didn't really mind too much because they have to get forward pretty fast anyway. We have to get everyone forward really to try and get rid of these guns. Then on the left hand side we have Frost Phoenix, who's I just placed him over there. Really, I probably should have put him near my general so he would have been a bit safer. But anyway, and Karajan's there in the center as well. So onto some dwarf shooting, the start of a big phase with the dwarves, and I got pretty lucky here. The gyrocopter opens up with his steam gun, and only managed to kill 2 reavers. So that's great. That's great stuff. I was hoping I was only going to lose 3 or 4, and I'd have maybe 1 left, but only losing 2 was great. And then the cannonballs rain down. So first cannonball strikes. Obviously doesn't randomize because it's bollocks. So it hits both the Frost Phoenix and the Rider. Frost Phoenix takes 2 wounds, and the Rider gets his head blown off, and he lands right over there on his arse. So Caradrian is dead in the first shot, and my Frost Phoenix has taken 2 wounds, which actually isn't too bad. Obviously it could have been worse. It could have one-shotted me. So there you go. Then one organ gun opens up and blows a big hole in these guys, which is actually not too bad because it's got 1 left, which is shocking. And then it goes on to High Elf turn 1 because his other cannon hit Ashtari and rolled a 1 to wound. Good stuff. Which means it's fantastic. And then the other the grudge thrower tried to take a shot, missed, which is grand, and the other organ gun also missed whatever it was shooting at, so we're good to go. So Frost Phoenix then says, well, I didn't want to throw him up too far forward, mainly because I didn't like that little bastard there. So I decided to charge his steam gun gyrocopter, who fled obviously. I went to try and get him, couldn't get that far, so I'm stuck in the wood. what else have I got here? Ashtari moves forward, and the Reavers then fly forward as well. So over on the other side of the table, the lone Reaver declares a charge on the organ gun and manages to get in, which is great stuff. He will probably be killed, but if he can hang on for just a turn, so he won't be shot by that, yeah, it will be fantastic stuff. I then didn't bother. I didn't bother sending forward the archers and my mage and stuff because we're over the long range for these guys, so their ballistic skill is down by one. Not the ballistic skill, the hit is down by one, and they've got the cover as well. So there's a good chance we won't lose too many guys. So we'll leave it like that. So straight on to Dwarf turn 2, and as you can imagine, the Dwarves do zero moving. All he does is put his cannon straight at me and fires, and he hits me and rolls a 1. So I now have 3 wounds gone. So I'm hanging on by the skin of my teeth here, but this guy is going to get into something next turn, so nice one. And the right hand side, the organ gun opens up and takes a couple of shots at my general here. So I lose, what do I lose? 1 each. So that's okay. I can take that, you know. And that was pretty much it. We got off lightly once again, and it's high elf turn 2. So Frost Phoenix flies over. We got our Reavers flying over as well, and Ashtari goes straight into the first cannon just to take that out of the equation. Now, what I did do here is I said I wanted to go on the left hand side so I could probably overrun into the Dwarves, but because he was kind of faffing around on the hill there, I just put him there. Of course, I forgot all about that at the end of the combat phase, and I turned him around. So, whoops, never mind. But it's quite funny thinking back on how much you forget when the heat of the game. And then the right hand side, my general declares the charge on the other organon, and he gets in as well. So that's that down. So I move forward my little archer unit so I can do a bit of magic this turn. So good stuff. That's exactly what we do. I see he's got his standard guy there, and he's got that fancy banner. So Arcane of Forge and see if we can do a wound. Unfortunately, we don't do a wound because he has a 4+ ward save. But then we do manage to get rid of his stinking item. So item is gone. So no ward save for him, and no shooting ward save, which doesn't really matter because we're not going to be going up that close to shoot him anyway. But always good to get that off. So, but it is a double 6, so we do miscast. But it's only a small explosive template. I don't really care. I lose some elves. Boo-hoo. It doesn't really matter because there's plenty of elves in Old One, isn't there? But yeah, right, 5 guys are dead. Who cares? Doesn't matter. So on to combat, and we've destroyed the cannon, of course. Ashtari does his job. Then I turn around and face the dwarf warriors, completely forgetting where I was supposed to be. But there you go. Never mind. It's all good in the game. I'm glad I just got rid of that fucking cannon, to be honest. Then onto the combat over here with the general, and he destroys the organ gun and goes straight into a master engineer who was hiding behind it. I forgot all about him. Sorry about that at the start. Now, what does happen later on is we have to fudge a few movements and things like that, because when I kill him, spoiler alert, I do kill him. I end up going through and clipping his unit inside. But it's all a bit weird. So we'll just go through it later on. Actually, I'm missing a few photographs as well because my camera started to die at this stage. So the pictures are pretty non-existent going forward from here. But anyway, then on the right hand side, my Reaver dies, so the organ gun is back in business. But I don't really care. My general's in combat, and the other guys are kind of hiding behind the wood, so that doesn't really matter to me. Alright, Dwarf turn 3, and this is where my camera starts losing it. I couldn't take any photographs for his movement and stuff like that, so I just combined them all here. So his warriors decided to charge into me. They might as well. They'll get the +1, they'll have extra strength, they'll have a good chance of maybe getting some wounds. Unfortunately, for poor old John, he did absolutely no wounds, but he had bollocks load of combat res. So he had charge, he has banner, he's got ranks, blah. So I was on something like a 3 or 4, which obviously I failed. And I ran away. Happily enough, he did not catch me. Well, he almost caught me, but he didn't. Well, not almost. I think it's about 3 or 4 inches there, but whatever. It was the right move for him to do because he would have had a chance to destroy him, and he would get a lot of points. So unlucky, John. Good stuff, though. And the rest is Dwarf turn 3. Now, what happened here was, and this is after we kind of fudged what we did. I had followed through when I killed his engineer, and it was kind of strange because of the way we had it faced. So what we decided to do was I'll just give it to front. I mean, it was either going to be fudging stuff and having him coming in the side, and it was kind of a bad fudge because he couldn't turn the full unit because of where the organ gun is, or we just make it an allowance and say, look, just put them together and you can fight away. You can get whatever. You got 4 guys plus your ranks in there, um, and then you can have your other guys coming in the side as well. And more than likely, it can be fairly soon because you're quite strong as your hammers. They're pretty strong and they're tough. And I've only got a few attacks, so I probably won't last too long. So I said, why not? We'll leave it like that. It was a fun thing to do because he gets to do a bit of combat, and I just get to hammer away at my generals. It was just there for fun anyway. So high elf turn 3, and my general is still alive, which is great. He's killed a couple of hammers. We just decided to throw off a little spell. I just wanted to get some ward save on my guys, really. So I threw a Hand of Glory on my general and only increases his stats by 1. Unfortunately, I miscast again, which turns out to be magical feedback. I take a wound, and because I'm a level 2 with no save, well, a 6 plus, but I failed. No real save. I'm dead, unfortunately. And as you can see here, there's not a lot of my archers left because the orc gun has been blowing their brains out. So unfortunately, he's dead, and I hope I don't lose the rest of that unit. Over on the left-hand side, though, things are going substantially better. What happened previously was that my Frost Phoenix charged in, and Ashtari has turned around and said, I'm coming in the next phase. So, good stuff there. At least we'll be able to kill somebody. On to General's combat, and he has done not too badly. He's killed 3 of the... He's got 3? Yeah, I think it was only 3 of the hammers that we killed. John's guys have taken another wound off my Phoenix. I think it was the Ruin Lord that actually did that. And stupid me, I should have went straight to kill that Ruin Lord because he is his general, so it's extra 100 points if I kill the guy in combat. But anyway, let's forget about that. So he's been targeting my general, who is quite tough. I mean, he's a wound gone, but I mean, I've got a 1+ rerollable armor save, and I've got a 4+ ward save. So I've been making quite a lot of saves. It's been working out really well. And my Phoenix has been getting a lot of saves as well, because he had, I did get a 6 on my Winds of Magic, so I have a 4+ ward save. So unfortunately for John, my rolling has been pretty good today. So unfortunately, he's not doing so hot. Now, he did beat me in combat because he has he has a standard, and he has 2 ranks. Did I beat him in combat? I think he beat me in combat because he has a musician. But I did manage to pass my test, so I was okay. And onto the combat over on the left-hand side, and the Frost Phoenix says to himself, and I say to him, you should probably be taking a chance to kill that standard bearer, because the standard bearer decides to move across, because I didn't actually put him in combat with the guy. I wasn't able to, couldn't slide over due to where Ashtari is. So he moves his BSB over there, and I put my attacks on him. Now the Frost Phoenix is kind of thick when it comes to attacks because he's not that great. No rerolls. I mean, rerolls are absolutely amazing for high elves. They're fantastic. They make them really worthwhile. And yeah, no rerolls for this guy, so I just managed to get 1 wound off him. I put the Thunderstomp down on the units just to get rid of a few guys. So we hold on in there and wait for Ashtari to pop in. So Dwarf turn 4, and as he probably should do, he charges his crossman right into the side of me, so he'll get an extra 10 attacks, plus he'll get a side charge, and he'll get a charge as well. A flank charge, and a charge as well. So things are looking good for him here. Now, unfortunately, this is my last slide. And that's the end of the game, unfortunately, picture-wise, because my phone died. So I had no more juice left to take any pictures, which was an absolute disaster. Because what happened next was pretty cool for me. Ashtari goes into the warriors, manages to help out the other Phoenix, which kills the warriors and the BSB, so I got a lot of points there. Then they go into the cannon and get rid of that as well. And then the other side of the table, my general destroys his general, who is then in turn destroyed by his hammers. Now, he didn't kill the general, he actually killed the Phoenix, which meant that the little burning flame went down and he was ready to erupt into his Azurian flames, which he did happen to do on my turn 6, which is the last turn of the game. So well, it wasn't my turn 6, it was the end of his turn 6 is when it happened. So I was able to position him right behind the hammers, ready to charge on my turn 6. He went into the hammers and wiped them out, which was loads of points. So I was extremely fortunate at the end there. So John was pretty unlucky. I mean, another day, Dwarves versus High Elves with all those cannons, especially with flying High Elves, we could have been gone in 2 turns. Easy, no problem. Unfortunately, the rolls didn't go for him. They went slightly for me, and my saves were good. So there you go. Unfortunately, that's what happens. So we end with a win, and we end with a 19-1, which is an incredible amount of scoring, which bombs me up to the table from my lowly position up to a nice respectable 13th out of 26. So halfway in between everybody. I had a nice cheapo list, which is good fun. It wasn't over. It was no by no means was it an overpowered or weird list. It was just some fun models that I like to use, and I wanted an excuse to paint. Well, I didn't actually paint the Flame Phoenix. I touched it up and repainted parts of it because I bought it online. But I did paint the guy on top of it, which was great. I really enjoyed painting him. He's really cool. And all the rest of the army was painted as well. So that was the most important thing, having a painted army, having a fun army, playing 5 different people with 5 different armies, which was another one thing I wanted to do. And I was very lucky to do it because a lot of people had to play the same shit all the time. Dark Elves or fucking Demons of Chaos, who are just a Nurgle wall, which is boring, or Chaos Legion, which was a Nurgle wall, which was boring, or else you're going to be playing something else. So I was very lucky to get what I got. So I suppose summing up the tournament, I'd say I had a great time. Thanks to Ross for running the tournament. Thanks to all the guys up there as well, because we had great fun with everybody, and it was just super fun. I'm not really tournament mad myself. I'm more about games. Having fun games and having a good time. This was exactly that. It just happened to be a tournament. I would be hoping more likely that there would be games days where you play 3 or 4 games against people, and it would be kind of Swedish, and you'd play people who you would have more of a chance of having a good game against rather than getting whooped, that sort of stuff. But tournaments, I probably wouldn't go to them again. It's hard to keep track of everything in a tournament, especially when your phone is dying and things like that. And some of these games I probably haven't done them justice, or the people as well, due to the fact that my camera messed up, or I can't remember the list because they were closed lists and I never got a copy and stuff. Tournaments can be quite frantic when you're moving around as well. Yeah, but there you go. I had a great time with these 5 games. A lot of fun doing these games as well. It's always cool to go back over these games and see what happened with pictures and see who you played and see their army as well. Very, very, very much a lot of fun to do. So listen, I'm gonna just go now. Say thanks very much if you managed to get through all 5 of these videos, because it's not that easy to sit there and listen to someone go on and watch their game. So if you did, thanks very much, and I hope you enjoyed it. And take care.